Just because you see some wins doesn't mean you're gonna stop seeing losing streaks. If you know, last week for me it was amazing. We did over 3 trades on Nasdaq, 3 winners, 100% win rate, over 10 hours of just profits. And right now we start to see a couple losers here and there, right? But it's totally normal. It's totally normal. You gotta accept them. I like to say, you gotta pay the price, right? You want the good winning streaks? You gotta pay the price, either beforehand or afterwards. Okay, it can't be just winning. So I detailed it in another video, how we took this trade right here, and then a small little win on ES. So we entered the day in break even. One account is down, one account is plus 1 hour per se. Right now, coming to this day, we still have the liquidity I'm seeing for the longest, right? These equal highs, this resistance on the higher time frame, which is also the all-time highs. We have price building a trend line here, and I'm seeing that if we open the market here today and we don't just jump to the upside, okay, and we go down and see something below, we might have another opportunity. Just as yesterday, might have another opportunity to take some longs to take advantage of this target, because I know this will get hit. So if price wants to go lower instead of going up, even better, because it gives me another opportunity to take advantage of some longs. Okay, as I've been doing throughout all this movement. That's why last week was amazing for me. Okay, so market opens. As usual, we sweep something lower. Look at this sell to buy, right? We sweep something lower. We make efficiency with price with some previous structure that I'll show you here with this blue line. Okay, price comes to test it. And then we try to anticipate the move up, because normally this is the best kind of setup the market on futures can give you. Is, fuck them ads, is a manipulation, okay, accumulation, a manipulation on opening, and a continuation following the other liquidity. So we sweep something on one side to go search for the other. In this case, it would be a sweep to the downside in order for them to price to go up. Okay, and this is also building equal lows. It's also the previous daily low. Very good. As a zone, as a liquidity, all good. But then the only thing I didn't like about this trade is the entry factor, because in here I don't have M5 candles to guide myself to put an entry in here, because I know with this that we're definitely gonna sweep this. And if you've been following me on Forex, you know that I'll never position myself after the sweep of this, because then this whole structure becomes too visible. This whole structure becomes too easy for SMC traders just to place themselves right here. But with futures, I've seen it otherwise where it can actually work. So the ICT and SMC traders, they're actually better off trading futures. Okay, in Forex I'll never do this, but in Forex and in futures I look to position myself right here before we do some major breaker structure like this, because then it would be too visible. And then on Forex I would have an entry right here, and the space between the entry and the breaker structure here would give me, well, enough unrealized profits to put myself in break even. Right, but we did swap this. We did a breaker structure, and the M15 candle looked very nice. Okay, like this big of a wick, and I was like, well, I don't have my entry set up, so I'll never take this on the funnel. That's why I took this on the challenge. You can see minus 500 here on this fresh challenge, and ended up being a loser. And I was only going for this low of a risk reward because of a consistency rule as well. Those are the rules for the challenge. And I was looking for just a continuation of price, just to predict the overall direction of price, and maybe being good. This could have worked in other scenarios, but it just decided to not work. we coming to 30 minutes until London close, it decides to do traps. But in this case, it just became a overall trending day of just going in one direction, following the same as the market open volatility. And it is what it is, right? We don't win them all. When price doesn't want to reverse like this, most of the cases I don't have a trade. And there wasn't my entry factor, so I should have stayed out. At the same time, this is only a challenge, okay? And also because of the consistency rule, I'm saying like, fuck it, let me position myself. So I'm not that mad over it, right? Because the zone was clean, it was only the entry factor. And sometimes, okay, I mean most of the times, all the times, if we're talking on the funded stages, then you shouldn't be placing yourself on these if everything's not in check. In this case, the entry wasn't in check. So yeah, I positioned myself here following some double breaker structure, and even super close to this. I mean, this had already made the breaker structure here, so I was just positioning myself on the limit. And yeah, price decided to go lower to other liquidities. Okay, we had this marked for the longest as well. And as it swept, it even did two sweeps. Right now it's going up, but this is too late for me to trade, especially if you can't hold overnight. I don't know how much I would be able to do it in this. Maybe 1.5. Okay, either way I wouldn't do it. And following that, okay, this was taken on the challenge, and then we took something on a funded account. We took on a funded account, which was the small win that we was talking about, and then we did the same thing. Here. Another reason why I predicted my NQ to fail, kinda, is because you can kinda predict the markets by his twin pairs. Okay, what I mean by that is sometimes that when I'm trading EU, I often look at GU, and when I'm trading GU, I often look at EU to see if they're both delivering the same setup, or if one is more anticipated than the other. Because when we had the liquidity sweep on NQ, we were here, like market open, right? And then it became all this choppiness. While NQ was going massively up after following the liquidity sweep, ES was here, which means they weren't identical. Okay, if they were, then this week would have been down here, sweeping the previous daily low, as NQ did, but it wasn't. Okay. At the same time, what could have happened is that ES could have swept this, right, and by that going down. Whilst here NQ could have went down to do the ES sweep, but still not going too deep and respect this low, and then they could have went both up at the same time, right? Still respecting this low. So sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes because NQ has already stretched itself long enough to the upside, it can still go down at the same time as ES, but it won't go that deep to where our stop loss was. But on the other scenario, they could be both identical and both sweep their lows, their current lows. Okay, so that's what happened. We got stopped out on NQ, but we did the setup here on ES, which also looked very clean, because you seeing how we go from one liquidity to another, and yesterday I was expecting this to go over here, because that's just following the liquidity cycle and trapping a bunch of people. And also we have these all-time highs on ES, which look very clean to go towards. Okay, that's why if market doesn't want to go straight up there on the open, even better, because it gives us a setup. But then we sweep the liquidity, we have some structure around here. I position myself on London close timing, trying to anticipate a retracement just to war until that liquidity, because it's late, and also because there's a liquidity there, right? I gotta think, I have a fixed risk reward of 3, but I also gotta think of the target, because if my target's 2 up here, I mean, it can be bad for me because I know as soon as price comes here and sweeps this liquidity, there will be a reaction. Whether it would be small, whether it would be strong, comes back to my stop loss, and then eventually goes to my target, which I knew would get taken, the high time frame one. Okay? So you gotta keep in mind of that. So because of those factors, I only went for 2 and decided to be a straight up stop loss. And this was on a front end account. But look, guys, don't think because things suddenly get good that you've just got it now. Perhaps you do got it, but don't be too delulu to the fact that to think that you'll not see losers anymore, or you will not see losing streaks, because it's always like that. You get winning streaks, you also get losing streaks. Some traders, they only trade like that. They get a bunch of, they get a super good winning streak, sorry, and then it's followed by super bad losing streaks. It's all about paying the price. It's all about paying the price and understanding that depending on your win rate, I mean, there's a huge probability of you getting a few significant losses. You gotta know through your data how much is normal for you to, how many losses is normal for you to get in a losing streak. How many losses in a row? Okay, you know that number. If you're in a, if you know that the number is 5, you're on 3-4 losses, you're not stressing too much because you know that's part of the data. So there's no reason for you to try and change things, get emotional about it, because it's all factored in the data. And if you know your data, that equity curve will start to bounce right back, because at the end of the day, you're profitable and you must think like a profitable trader. And look, guys, trades have individual results, meaning whatever happened in the last trade, it has no single effect on the next one, unless you're putting emotions of that trade towards the next one and you're losing it, but because you're losing it because of you, because you're doing bullshit, because you're doing emotional things, right? You can't let the previous trade affect the next one. Okay, they're all individual results. Just gotta trade like the data says and be a robot. Be a robot. Try your best to trade like you would in backtesting, to follow your plan to the T, and try not to put your emotions in the charts. And the thing I found very curious about my progress in trading towards being a profitable trader is that every single time I do a big jump on my journey, I also take a couple steps back. Okay? It's always about 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It's like huge wins, boom, 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 fun account, boom. Then couple of blown accounts, you know, couple of losses. But it doesn't mean I'm regressing, doesn't mean I'm at the same place. I'm still moving forward, but it's 3 steps forwards, 2 steps back. It doesn't seem much, but at the end of the day, you're still advancing. And if you just keep going, then eventually you'll get to your goal. Meaning, let's say, if you are kind of like me, you're having no wins in the market, just losing. Then you start to see a couple wins. Okay? Couple wins, nice. But then you can't be over the moon and you start to imagine all this money and the Raris, you know. Losses come. Then a couple months afterwards, you get another big jump in your equity, in your journey equity curve, let's say. Right? And this time you get funded. You've never been funded before. Okay? But then you blow that funded without getting a single payout. Right? Sad, but it is what it is. Then you start to get 2 funded. Then it's 2 steps back again. But then you start to get 3 funded. Then you're going to start to 1 payout. And maybe you blow a funded. But then you see how it gets? Like, it's not just advancing forward. Because a lot of you, I think that like as soon as you get it, it's like onwards for there. It's like good life. 1 funded account can pay for it all, you know, like it can change my life. And I'm telling you, that first funded account ain't gonna change shit. Because at the end of the day, you gotta pay the price. Get that first funded account and start reinvesting back. Start getting other funded accounts. Start protecting yourself. Okay? Don't think that once you get some sort of success, it's onwards from there. Because it ain't gonna be. At least for me, it's always like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But at the end of the day, you're still advancing. And you can see by where I'm at today, how many steps I took back. But also, don't be discouraged about your journey, because if you look at your past, and you should do this oftentimes, you have evolved, hopefully. Hopefully you're not like one of these guys that have 5 years of experience and still trading like beginners and gambling on the markets. You have evolved, right? If you look at your trading 1 year ago, couple months ago, the best case scenario is if you had evolved, either in your technicals, either in psychology. Maybe you blew some accounts, but how is your trading? How is your mind, right? Because that might happen. I might blow an account, but that may be part of the system, might be part of the edge, you know, because I still get losses. But guess what? I'm rotating between accounts. You guys know that strategy. I'm building a bunch of accounts. I'm building a bunch of security. If I get on a losing streak, I don't win it, I don't lose it all, right? I can, but it would be a stupid big losing streak, and that will happen because we have built a foundation of a good trader, and we also have the mentality of being profitable traders. You gotta fake it till you make it, guys. In the sense of, it starts with the mind. You gotta think you are profitable before you actually are. Okay? So you think it and you move like it. You think like a profitable trader, you act like one. You won't be doing the bullshit. And boys, the rest is history. The rest is history. Cause I know you get shitted on. I know you get shitted on. I know you pass accounts, then blow it. I know you do this and then bad things start to happen. But do you really think it will be like that forever? Right? Unless perhaps you need to change something. But at the same time, in case you're evolving, at least, you know that, okay, I've passed these accounts. I passed 1 account, let's say. Then I passed 2. Still can't get a payout, but I'm evolving, I'm getting better. Which means even if I keep like passing accounts, then passing more, right? Even though I'm between all these steps, I'm still like blowing accounts and blowing the funded actually. Like I'm always taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Perhaps you reach the top way faster, but the ones that reach wealth faster don't actually have the skills to hold it, right? And they didn't went to the pain that we did to actually not even become profitable, but just traders, right? So yeah, guys, I'm showing you how it is. I'm showing you the trades I'm taking live. Okay, Forex hasn't been given much, so I'm just showing futures for the moment. If you enjoy these kind of videos, leave a like, comment what you think, and how is your situation at the moment. If you're getting good winning streaks, but then you're seeing bad losing streaks falling right afterwards, let me know. Let me know if you also relate to any of those things I was talking about. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, found value out of this video. Leave a like, and thank you so much for watching.